You know that feeling when you're scrolling and you see someone online who just seems so put together? They're confident, they're wise, they're financially free. And then some part of your brain goes, wait, is any of this even real? So I don't mean that as an accusation, I mean it as a genuine question because I think most of us have kind of stopped being able to answer it. Okay, so here's my actual claim. I'm going to say this early because I don't want to waste your time building it up. The internet has quietly turned fake it till you make it into something stranger. It's not about faking confidence to get a job anymore, to get to the job interview. It's becoming LARP till you make it, where people don't just pretend for a moment. They're building an entire performable identity and they live inside of it for years. And sometimes their performance works better than the real person ever actually did. So I don't think that's a scandal. I think it's just where we ended up. And the deeper you look at it, the weirder it gets. So here's a quick example, just so you know we're on the same page. Let's take the entrepreneur guy. The rented Lamborghini, the Ty Lopez, yo, just here with my Lamborghinis. They're sitting in a hotel lobby that isn't his. They're renting an Airbnb to create content out. Their motto is seven-figure scaling, where the actual business is just 3 affiliate links they push thrown together on a Canva template. Okay, everybody clowns that guy because he's the easiest version of this to spot, but almost nobody starts out trying to trick you, in my opinion. Okay, that's a general assumption. I think that's a part that we get wrong. So let's take it this way, okay? Somebody posts a video and one specific aspect of that video does numbers, whether it's their confidence, a joke they told, or one honest sentence about being tired, okay? The algorithm notices that specific part. People will start commenting on it. So the next time they post a video, they lean into that part a little bit harder. They're not at this point lying exactly, they're just turning up the dial on whichever version of themselves got rewarded by the algorithm. So you do that enough times and the dial just doesn't turn back. So here's where I think it stops being funny, okay? Because that mechanism doesn't just apply to obvious grifters, it applies to something a lot quieter. So I saw a video recently reviewing a Minecraft commentary channel, same lane as this one, technically, but this guy reviewing the channel pointed out that all of the content was AI generated. The voice was just clear AI, honestly. It was stitched together and just optimized for retention, but the channel's whole brand was built around being emotionally raw. The whole sad boy, sad Bart Simpson vibe was the channel. It was let me tell you something real while I mine this cave. And I'm not gonna lie, that's a proven format, but this was just an obvious, just straight LARP, okay? So I'm gonna be careful here, okay? Because I don't think the interesting question is whether that person is lying about being sad. We can't really tell what's actually happening in someone's life, and the internet can't really tell either, no matter how confident a comment section sounds. I think the interesting question is a different one. So if vulnerability becomes a content format, if being sad on camera performs better than being fine on camera, how many people start producing sadness the same way they'd produce any other high retention video? It's not because they're faking pain, but it's because the pain presented in certain ways works. And once something works, it gets repeated. So, I'm not saying that just because that guy is using AI on his channel, which, hey, we're all clean here, guys. Let me prove it to you any way you need to, okay? But I'm not saying because he's using AI on his channel to speak about being sad that it's complete LARP. If I'm gonna be a little unbiased here, I think there's definitely some LARPing to it, but maybe it started out as not a LARP of him being sad, and then he, like I said, just noticed that kind of what really worked, and then it got a little LARPy from there. Okay? What I'm trying to say is this means that authenticity in itself is becoming a genre of content. It's a style you could hit whether or not it's true on that specific day. So sit with that for a second because I think it flips something. We used to think being real was the opposite of performing. Now being real is one of the best performing formats there is, which means people are learning to do real the same way they'd learn how to make a good thumbnail. I say do with air quotes there. You guys couldn't see them, but I did. Okay, it's just such an interesting thing to kind of comprehend. And you guys might be like, yo, this is kind of hypocritical. You literally run a Minecraft commentary channel where you talk. And I was like, yeah, but it's am I LARPing? I don't think so. I'm just talking about whatever comes to my mind in any specific video. I didn't make a video for 2 weeks because I didn't have any good ideas that I felt were good enough for me to get on camera or get off camera in front of this microphone and start talking to you guys about. This kind of brings up a harder question in my opinion, and it's it's harder than is this person fake? It's where does the branding end and the pretending begin? So every creator shapes something. I do it too. I'm not going to pretend This is exactly how I talk to a friend if there were no camera, no edits, and no edits. I'm gonna leave that in. And there's no audience watching because, of course, this video is shaped. You know, I sit down, I come up with like key topics that I want to discuss throughout this video, and I just sit here and talk about it, okay? I think that's just part of making videos. But there's a difference between shaping something and becoming something. Branding is showing people a real part of yourself, whereas pretending is showing whatever version of yourself performs best, even on days it's not true anymore. So here's a question that actually, like, I swear that this keeps me up a little, okay? If you play a character convincingly enough for long enough, does it just become you? Like, not in a fake way, but in a real way. If you perform discipline every single day for 3 years, at some point, isn't that just discipline? The performance and the person stop being separable. Maybe that's not even a bad thing. Maybe that's how some people actually change. They LARP the version of themselves they want to be until they grow into it. That's basically what fake it till you make it always meant, before it had an audience. Except now it's not private. Now it happens with a comment section grading your performance in real time, which changes the incentive completely. You're not just becoming who you want to be anymore, you're becoming whoever gets the most engagement and hoping that those two people are the same person. And sometimes they're not, and that's when it gets sad. You know, the guy 3 years into the persona who doesn't know how to turn it off anymore, because turning it off means losing the only version of himself that ever got attention online. And that's what actually unsettles me about the AI content thing that I mentioned. It's not that a video might be assembled instead of filmed, it's that the emotion itself can now be generated on demand. A script built to hit exactly the cadence that makes you feel like someone's being honest with you, which, by the way, is uncomfortably close to what I'm doing right now. I know that. I'm not exempt from this. Nobody making content right now is exempt from this, okay? Like, creating content, creating videos like this require you to structure, whether it's a script or just bullet points, to structure a retention based video, okay? That's just the hard truth, okay? So here's where I land. It's not a clean answer, but I think, and I don't think there is one, honestly, but okay, so fake it till you make it used to be advice for one nervous moment, a job interview, a first date, a presentation you weren't ready for. So it's something you did quietly alone and dropped once you didn't need it anymore. But LARP till you make it is different. It's not a moment, it's become a career. It's an identity you build in public and then refine based on applause. And sometimes it just never gets put down because the applause is the only proof that you have of it working. So maybe the real question is whether the internet still rewards authenticity. Maybe it's whether authenticity as something separate from performance is even still available to the people who create content for a living. And I don't think most people start making this kind of content by pretending. I think they start by, like I said, emphasizing one real part of themselves that the algorithm just keeps rewarding them for. And after enough years, the question isn't whether they were ever fake, it's whether they ever had the chance to become anyone else, if who they are now is actually themselves.